So, Enter the Gungeon. It's a pretty brutal game with an incredibly steep learning curve. And sometimes, this game is pretty bad at explaining some of its deeper mechanics. So today, I wish to share some tips and tricks to help get further into the gungeon, covering both some of the basics to some of the lesser known stuff. And with that, let's dive. Wait, no. Let's dodge roll into it. When I started playing, I often focused too much on aiming. While it's important to land your shots, priority 1 should be avoiding attacks. So instead of focusing on the reticle, your eyes should be on the enemy projectiles and your body. This makes it a lot easier to avoid attacks, and with that, it should help you get further into the game. So, the characters here. The Marine, Pilot, Convict, and the Hunter. They've all got their pros and cons and different playstyles accordingly. All of them have a place in the roster. However, I would generally recommend avoiding the Convict when you're starting out. Although her damage output can be nice, she only gets the damage boost when she's taking damage. And, by taking damage, you die. She's really just garbage compared to the other choices. If you're just starting out, the Marine is most likely the best choice, since his starting gun and passive ability are just solid. But when you start feeling a little bit more confident in your playing abilities, I would strongly recommend playing as the Pilot. The Pilot is arguably the best starting characters out of the 4. He has incredibly useful passives with the cheaper chops and more bullets. And with the lockpick being the best starting item, since it allows you to try to open chests for free, although chances are pretty high you will break the lock. But hey, it's free, why not do it? It's better than shooting it, so why not try at least? When I started playing, I, for the most part, just avoided the sewers like it was the plague. I just didn't see the point in going, since it doesn't bring you any closer to beating the game. Why should I go there? Well, turns out I was wrong. Going to the oubliette is almost always worth it. Although it costs 2 keys to open, and the location itself is actually pretty difficult. But the amount of loot you get there it's almost always worth it. Both the boss drop and the chest rooms, it adds up. But you might be asking yourself, what about the keys? I'm gonna need so many to open all these things. Well, let's just say the Pilot has got you covered. Oh, by the way, if you got no idea what I'm talking about, you can unlock a secret floor by putting out the fire right here and interacting with it. That's how you unlock it anyway. Moving on. Knowing when to perform a dodge roll and when to simply walk around the bullets. Your first reaction when projectiles are coming your way is to dodge roll, right? But before you start mashing that button, take a look and ask yourself if it's really the right thing to do. You can avoid a surprising amount of attacks by simply walking around them. And most of the time, this way is both easier and better to pull off, since you got more control over your movement and can return fire in the meanwhile. That being said, you still gotta dodge roll to avoid most attacks, but hey, try to walk around some of the attacks, and you're gonna see that maybe you're gonna survive for slightly longer. Secret rooms. These rooms are surprisingly common, and are mostly found in chest rooms. If you are in a chest room, make sure to fire into each corner of the room, and look for cracks. If any appear, using a blank will open it up. Where inside, you're gonna find a selection of goodies. Anything from some ammo to multiple chests. So make sure to look inside of these rooms, if you have a spare blank. Money in this game can be insanely useful, since you can buy anything from more blanks, health or items. But you should really know what's actually worth it. And some items are really not worth it. Items such as blanks or health should really be avoided, mainly because they're just so expensive and can be commonly found for free after bosses or item drops. Your money should mainly be spent on keys or some items. But there are of course exceptions. If you need some health and the shop is your only option, then you should obviously do it. It's better to spend some money over dying. Cover can be commonly found throughout, and really should be utilized. Both walls and tables are really useful in helping you avoid attacks, since it makes it possible to strafe in and out of cover and safely clear out rooms. Some boss fights have got cover as well, and when you get lucky enough to get such a robust room, make sure to use it. It makes the fight a lot easier and should help you prevent damage. Break chests that you can't open. If you have finished a floor and can't get enough keys to open all the chests, make sure to break them. They sometimes drop useful stuff like health, shields or Sir Junken. And Sir Junken is a really useful item and can really help you in your run. So I would recommend making it a habit to destroy unopened chests before you leave the floor. Use your good guns. A common beginner mistake is being overly conservative with ammo. You get a lot of ammo in a normal run, so make sure to use your good guns when clearing out rooms. It's gonna make it easier and should prevent you from taking more damage from normal enemies. Ammo is far more common than you think it is. Use your active items, and for those which recharge, spam them as much as possible. There is no reason not to use them. They provide some nice utility, but they are pretty easy to forget. So just remember to use them when you have them. Now, this doesn't apply to one-time use items, since they really should only be used in emergencies. So, those are some personal things that I have picked up while playing this game. And hopefully you learned something. But yeah, that's the video. You can leave now. Bye.